WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. There's some good news for folks in Oktibbeha County. The pumps have arrived.
That's right. An Alabama company brought the equipment in about 4:30 this afternoon. Lights are set up along County Lake Road. Now, emergency management is hoping to begin the process to start pumping that water out of the lake tonight. More rain is expected tomorrow, and officials want to get as much water out of Oktibbeha County Lake as safely as possible. The goal is to lower the water level 5 feet, which could possibly put the dam out of the danger zone from failing. A voluntary evacuation, though, is still in place tonight. A Red Cross shelter is open at First Baptist Church Outreach Center in Starkville. The Oktibbeha County Humane Society is also boarding pets for any evacuees.
Now, engineers tell WCBI the water levels are down since yesterday.
But with rain in the forecast, as we just mentioned, how are residents feeling out there? WCBI's Bobby Martinez caught up with one resident who says she has a plan if the worst case scenario happens. He joins us in the studio. Bobby?
Guys, it's a homeowner's worst nightmare. The possibility of losing their home is something Alberta Turner tells me she's been facing since Tuesday. She and other residents near County Lake Road are on high alert and hoping this weekend's rain doesn't make the situation even worse.
Stay ready, stay vigilant.
That's what Oktibbeha County Supervisor Marvel Howard keeps telling himself and his neighbors near Oktibbeha County Lake. Howard and other county officials have been watching mudslides on the side of the lake's dam, which is also a main road to some homes. Right now, the area is roped off with caution tape, and there's been some cautionary good news.
At this moment, the water level has dropped in about 2 feet, maybe a little bit more since this all began.
What started as an impromptu search of the lake took a turn for the worse when engineers say they found the slides. Since then, large tubes have been pumping out water from the lake to lower the water level. And with the rain in the weekend forecast, that can make the situation worse. Alberta Turner is ready should the water start to rise.
I probably could stay with my grandson a while till things get better. But I'm praying and hoping that it'll go to be the other way around. At least I hope so. This is the first time we had ever had this to happen.
As the weekend approaches, Howard says crews will monitor the slides around the clock to make sure the situation doesn't get worse.
Our plans hadn't changed as far as trying to notify people, if it's time to move. Other than that, just be patient. Make sure you're getting your information from an official source.
Oktibbeha County EMA says County Lake Road will be closed while pumps are running to get water out of the lake.
Well, it may not seem like it right now, but freezing temperatures are expected this weekend in Columbus. Some organizations are doing their part to ensure the homeless community has a warm place to lay their heads. They're
opening a warming shelter. Our Quentin Smith is there, and he joins us live with more information on it. Quentin?
Yeah, Andrea, behind me is the warming shelter that'll be used this weekend. It's the old Boy Scouts hut located just off of 2nd Avenue North. The doors will open tomorrow evening beginning at 5 o'clock and will remain open until Tuesday night. Now, as you mentioned, multiple organizations work together to help this come into fruition. The City of Columbus, Loaves and Fishes, Community Outreach, and the GTR Homeless Coalition all partnered together to open this warming shelter. All throughout the day, they've been inside setting up cots, laying out pillows and blankets, and just getting everything ready. I'm told the shelter is equipped to house roughly 40 people this weekend. Organizers say opening this shelter is a way to let those in the homeless community know there are people that care about them who want to help them find shelter.
I have people who have already told me that they have no place to go to get out of the weather, and we've had people sleeping in cars, Walmart, McDonald's, that sort of thing. So we want to see if we can provide them a warm and comfortable place to sleep for these cold snaps.
Just the collaboration that we're doing with the city and the Homeless Coalition, Loaves and Fishes, it takes the whole community to come together to rectify this problem, and we just hope our citizens will appreciate what we're doing.
Now, along with providing people with a place to lay their heads, organizers are also giving out free meals for those who do have to stay the night. Organizers are still asking for volunteers and donations. If you would like to volunteer or donate, just visit our website at WCBI.com. But for now, reporting live in Columbus, Quentin Smith, back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that, Quinn. As he mentioned, colder temperatures are on the way. It's hard to believe right now as we're in the 60s across much of the area. Clouds really hanging around overnight tonight, and I really think that's going to continue to be the trend. By about 11 o'clock, I think we'll be down into the lower 50s, but notice these showers starting to roll in just a little bit from the west. I don't think we see any organized rain activity overnight tonight, but certainly could see a sprinkle here or there. Notice, though, by Saturday morning, by around 3 or 4 o'clock, by the time some of you early risers are starting to rise, maybe a little bit more rain moving in, and then more rain through the day. After that, much colder air arrives. I'll have that breakdown for you coming up in just a little bit.
2 people are dead in an apparent murder-suicide in Boonville. Police Chief Michael Ramey says it happened around 11:44 this morning at a home on South Lake Street. The chief tells WCBI one person was found in the home and the other outside. Investigators are still trying to piece together exactly what happened, but did recover a shotgun. Right now, the victims' names are not being released.
A federal appeals court refuses to hear an appeal that struck down a Mississippi abortion law. Former Governor Phil Bryant signed the 15-week abortion ban law back in 2018. Abortion clinics, or rather the state's only abortion clinic in Jackson, sued, and the legislation was ruled unconstitutional. Well, in December, 3 judges on the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals argued with that ruling. The state asked the entire 5th Circuit to reconsider the request. It was denied today. The state is likely to ask the U.S. Supreme Court now to take up the case.
Mississippi's lottery has a big winner, the state's highways. The first $30 million in lottery earnings will go to pavement restoration projects. A deposit of lottery earnings will be deposited on January 20th. The Mississippi Department of Transportation has not announced which highways will be repaved or resurfaced yet. The law that created the Mississippi Lottery says the first $80 million in earnings will go to state road and bridge repairs.
Well, the town of Louisville has been undergoing a little bit of a facelift lately.
Yeah, it's part of the city's downtown project that started 5 years ago. The focus is on infrastructure and economic development. WCBI's Stephanie Poole joins us live in the studio with what some of those plans entail. Stephanie?
Yes, for some, it could be a little difficult navigating through the heart of downtown Louisville. The city has made some strides to provide safer travel options for the citizens, and it's almost time to share those new additions with their residents. Your trip down Main Street in Louisville is about to get a lot smoother. Mayor Will Hill says the city has been actively working to make downtown more accessible for residents.
What's taking place downtown has created some inconvenience and some problems. Safety is first, and so all of this is to make downtown safer, whether it's traffic or pedestrian.
There are 2 separate projects costing around $750,000. Phase 1 will touch on travel, where crews will add safety features, keeping pedestrians in mind as well as drivers. Phase 2 focuses on town beautification.
There's traffic signals in a project with MDOT, address sidewalk accessibility for ADA compliance, and then I guess the icing on top is that it's going to be so aesthetically pleasing. We're doing a landscape plan. There's a lot of things that are going to make downtown look beautiful.
Amy Hillier is the executive director for Louisville's Chamber of Commerce. She says the goal is to create an inclusive environment for all ages.
It just makes it more pedestrian-friendly, walkable, so that you can get places faster, easier, whether you have a stroller, whether it's a wheelchair. We just want to make it easier for our citizens to be able to get to all the places they want to be.
We feel confident that Louisville is poised for growth. We have survived the threat of bypass commerce. We've survived a bad recession. We've survived a disaster, but our downtown is very vibrant. And with that, we want people to have confidence to invest. So by doing projects like this, we're stepping ahead and saying, hey, we're putting our money where our mouth is.
Mayor Hill says severe weather has delayed the process on getting some of those repairs done. He says the first phase of the project will be completed by February.
The Tupelo Police Department has 2 deputy chiefs. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
Welcome back. 2 longtime police officers are now second in command at the Tupelo Police Department.
WCBI's Allie Martin has more on how the 2 veteran officers will carry out their roles.
I have achieved a goal I never thought was possible. in my career.
Deputy Chief Jackie Clayton started working at the Tupelo Police Department in 1979. He was almost on his way out of the door to retirement when he got the call to become second in command at TPD.
I've got a lot of guys here who have actually mentored me, and I thank you for that.
Deputy Chief Anthony Hill has been with the department since 1994. Clayton and Hill have worked together for years, making Friday's pinning ceremony with friends and family all the more special. This is not the first time the TPD has had more than one deputy chief.
Had Major Clayton and Major Hill in those positions, and for me to choose between them wasn't really hard. For me, it just seemed like the right thing to do.
Their leadership will be a positive as we transition into a new decade with Tupelo Police Department.
Deputy Chief Clayton will be in charge of patrol, narcotics, and detectives, while Deputy Chief Hill will oversee the Police Athletic League, the Police Academy, Special Operations, and School Resource Officers. Both men have specific goals moving forward.
I'd like to see us get back to more of a servant-leader approach where we come in contact with a lot of people, and most people we come in contact with are not contacted by the police very often, and they may not know exactly how to react. We deal with a small group of folks every day, but with a large population occasionally.
One is officer safety, promoting officer safety. The second is better serving and protecting the community, and encourage all officers to be mentors with our youth, with the ultimate goal of suppressing crime in our communities.
Other officers could be promoted because Clayton and Hill have new titles. That fits with one of the duo's next goals, emphasizing officer retention and recruitment. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Longtime Deputy Chief Alan Gilbert recently accepted a police chief job in Arkansas. All right, rain on the way, Trevor.
Yeah, and cold temperatures.
Yeah, you know what they say, if you don't like the weather, stick around for 3 days. It's probably going to change, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to be in the 60s tomorrow with rain. By the end of this 3-day period, highs in the 40s, low 40s at that, with lots of sunshine. I'll break down that forecast for you coming up right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
We have been pretty warm for the last couple of days, especially today. We saw some peaks of sunshine getting up into the mid and upper 60s in some spots, and that's going to be the case tomorrow as well. Temperatures in the mid 60s. We've got that rain to get through, but the big talking point is going to be this big temperature swing down into the 40s for highs by Sunday and into next week before temperatures ramp up once again. Just as a note, our average high for this time of year is 52. So we're not even really close to average. We're either really above it or really below it. That's wintertime here in the southeast for you. Lots of changes in the weather pattern. Before we get to that forecast, let's take a look at what's going on right now. We've got clouds and radar continuing to stream across the area. We've had some clouds increasing through the day today. And note, I mentioned we had some sunshine earlier, but clouds have started to increase. We've also got a little bit of shower activity, generally very light, maybe just a little drizzle on your windshield as you're headed home from work, but really not anything major going on right now. And I think that's going to continue overnight tonight. Lows right there around 50 degrees. Maybe some light showers, especially as we get past midnight and into early Saturday morning. It is going to be a little breezy overnight. It's been breezy today. That's going to continue with gusts as high as 25 or 30 miles an hour out of the south at times. We'll start you off by tomorrow morning, though. This is 9 a.m. Notice that cold front starting to approach the area. By 9 a.m., I think we're already starting to see a little bit of rain activity across the area. Can't rule out a little bit of thunder with this, but we're not expecting any severe weather. This is just going to be a quick rain and thunder shower event. By noon, that front approaches just a little bit closer. Notice we're getting close to 60 in many spots with rain continuing. By about 3 o'clock, I think the front has already passed Tupelo, Oxford, Coffeyville. That leaves us with rain showers continuing to the Golden Triangle and points south and east. By 6 o'clock, though, I think that front passes us. We're all dry, but notice the temperatures. We're already down into the 40s in many spots by sunset, and those temperatures are going to continue to fall. Now, the good news is we've been talking about the Oktibbeha County Lake Dam and lots of other flooding problems. This is not going to be a big rain event. I think generally half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, close to an inch in some spots, but we're not expecting anything over an inch unless you're in one of those very isolated heavy rainstorms. But generally, I think everybody's going to see anywhere from a half an inch to about 3/4 of an inch. There's that cold front passing through. By Sunday morning, we're down into the 30s, upper 20s up in Memphis. That's going to leave us in the teens for Tuesday morning. That's the coldest morning of the week by far, so bundle up. After that, clouds build in by the end of the week. More chances for showers and storms by Friday. Highs back to 60. So the weather is ever changing. You've got a little bit of something for everybody in that forecast.
True, yeah.
We need the sunshine too. Need to dry out.
We do. And the good news is, like I mentioned, not a huge rain event with this, so that'll give us a nice little bit of time to dry everything out.
Good.
Delivering good news on Friday. We
Absolutely.
Like it.
We love it.
All right, coming up, Hail State Hoops remains perfect in conference play, setting up a battle of the best in the SEC. More on the top 10 matchup next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Hail State Hoops surviving a major comeback attempt from LSU last night. Now the Bulldogs head into the weekend undefeated in conference play, with their biggest test coming at the beginning of next week. Mississippi State will go on the road to face #1 South Carolina next Monday, a matchup between the final 2 undefeated teams in the SEC. It'll be the first true ranked road test for Hail State Hoops, as head coach Vic Schaefer says his younger players will need to expect 8,000 plus yelling against them.
I think the only way to really prepare for that is just to, you have to experience it, to be honest with you. I think our veterans like Jordan, they understand it. There'll be people in the crowd screaming at you, hollering at you. They may have personal things they're saying, and you wonder how they even know that about you, or, that's anywhere. That's just part of being on the road.
We're going to have to talk more, communicate more, because it is going to be a loud gym, a loud arena. So we're probably not going to be able to hear as many plays like normally or whatever, but we'll have to communicate a lot better and just be ready to go out there and fight.
Mississippi State head basketball coach Ben Howland fined $25,000 by the SEC for comments made on this play against LSU this past weekend. Howland made comments about officiating in a Monday press conference after the no call on the play involving Reggie Perry. Howland called it a, quote, horrible no call, and said in the press conference that the SEC told him that it was indeed a bad no call. The SEC says Howland's fine comes from prohibiting coaches from publicly criticizing officials and from making public any specific communications with the conference office related to officiating. With baseball season right around the corner, the New Hope Trojans look to defend their 4A state title, led by 3 seniors who signed to play at the next level today. Cole Ruffin, Drew Brown, and Presley Hall will continue their baseball careers at the next level. Ruffin signs with MUW, Brown signs with EMCC, where his father also played, and Hall signs with Southwest Baptist. All 3 were happy that their years of playing ball together led them to this moment.
It's really special. It's a day I've always dreamed of, getting to play college baseball. I'm glad I get to sign with my friends and can't wait to play one more season with them.
It's about 4. We've been playing together, and to sign with them, it's special. It's not ever since I was young. This is a day I dreamed of. So
I've been dreaming of this since my whole life, basically, and it's coming true today.
Down the road in Caledonia was another signing, but instead of the baseball diamond, on the basketball floor. Guard Cooper McCleskey signs to continue his hoops career with Northeast. The Tigers will be getting a player who's a straight-up bucket, as McCleskey is averaging 20 points per game for Caledonia. He says he's happy all those years of hard work paid off.
I worked really hard for this, so I just feel like I always thought it was going to pay off, and it eventually did, so I'm just glad it paid off, all the hard work.
So big congrats to all of our area athletes signing the next level. For more on Cooper, tune in tonight at 10. We'll have highlights of Caledonia big division matchup against Pontotoc going on right now, actually.
All right. You know it's a big day when they have cake, right, Andre?
It's a celebration. There must be cake. I always notice the cake in the shots, okay? I'm a cake monster. I can't help it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
That's right.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Above average temperatures tomorrow, highs in the 60s with some rain, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder through the day. But after that, cold front's going to come through, knock our temperatures down into the 40s in the afternoons. But Tuesday morning, we're expecting temperatures in the teens across the area. So get those winter coats ready. Clouds,
dust them off.
Yeah, for sure. Clouds build back in for Wednesday and Thursday. More storms for us. We just can't get off that ride. Back for us on Friday.
Well, Trevor and I were talking earlier. We like to dress for the cold. You know, we have good cold weather outfits.
You like your boots, don't you?
I do love my boots.
That's where
that was going. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.